is Derek Von Kuntra, and I work for Appalachian Sustainable Development. Our food hub, Appalachian Harvest, in Duffield, Virginia, put together a storage tunnel for hard squash, and we would like to show you the process in this video so you can replicate it at home or on your farm. This hard squash storage tunnel is great at mitigating the heat and the humidity, which degrades the produce, thus extending their shelf life and their quality long into the off-season. This will help earn our wholesale farmers a little extra for their produce. So, the first thing you need to do is acquire all the tools and materials you see here. We used a measuring tape, marker, hammer, screws for drywall and screws for sheet metal, screwdriver, washers, a buzz saw, 2 sawhorses, clamps, both 3-inch and 2-inch clamps, and a sander. The materials we used were the fan, a pallet jack, 1 7/16-inch OSB, 4 2x4s, and 2 1x4x8 furring strips. It's always a good idea to get extra 2x4s and furring strips. Lastly, you'll need a clear plastic and 2 thermometers. Since this was built for our food hub farmers, we have plenty of pallets and pallet jacks to use. Not necessarily needed, but it makes it much easier to move around. Before we begin, make sure that your fan's motor is compatible with your outlets. This may take a little bit of rewiring. Okay, once you have all your tools and materials, it's time to take measurements to cut out the rough opening of the fan in the OSB. We want our fan on a 6-inch pallet, so the rough opening in the OSB will be 6 inches from the bottom. We now want to screw on the frame for the rough opening with 2x4s. We will start with the top of the frame, leave an extra 1.5 inches on both sides of the rough opening for the 2 remaining 2x4 pieces to lay. Once it's in the right location, secure it with clamps and screw it into the OSB from the bottom. Once the top 2x4 has been screwed in, it's time to add the frame on either the left or the right side. Your side 2x4 frame should line up perfectly with the top 2x4, and you'll screw those together first. And then using clamps again, we're going to secure it from the bottom with a screw every 10 inches or so. Since this will be around the fan sitting on the pallet, we won't have any boards along the bottom. So for the third and final board in our frame, secure it to the top 2x4. And then we recommend you wait until it's over the fan itself before you secure it from the bottom. Now once the frame is on the fan, you may need to use a hammer for this. You can secure the third 2x4 board frame into the OSB from the back of the board. We also are going to take this time to screw in the OSB to the pallet at the bottom. Okay, so we have the OSB and the frame on the fan, and the third and final 2x4 has been secured to the OSB. It's time to secure the wings with the furring strip. These will be reinforced along the entire edge on both the right and the left sides, the top, side, and the bottom for both sides. Next, we want to screw the fan into the pallet itself. So we'll just need to remove the fan grate and use the metal screws and washer. Once this is secured, replace the fan grate and make sure everything is secured. The furring strips, the fan grate, as well as the frame. The hard squash tunnel material will be clear plastic, and this can easily tear from any protruding screws. For this, we'll just use a sander to smooth them down on the surface. Once this is completed, your structure is nearly done. It's time to move it into place with the pallet jack and arrange your storage bins. We recommend leaving a foot of space in between the first row and the fan, as well as a row of space in the middle, a foot. For every row after the first, you just only need to leave 4 inches in between those bins. Lastly, we just roll out the clear plastic over the bins and the fan structure and then clamp it all down. Well, congratulations! Your storage tunnel is now complete. You'll want to monitor the temperature and the relative humidity under the plastic. So, we recommend placing 2 thermometers in this structure. We're going to have one right in the front, right, and then one in the left middle. Squash does best when stored around 55 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit with 60 to 65% relative humidity. Thank you so much for watching us, and happy growing, everybody.